7-year-old Chloe Patterson was waiting in her mother's car in the parking lot of Mercy General Hospital when an electrical fire erupted in the dashboard, filling the vehicle with smoke and causing the automatic door locks to malfunction, trapping the terrified child inside as flames began spreading through the car's interior. Her mother had stepped inside the hospital for what was supposed to be a 5-minute prescription pickup, leaving Chloe safely secured in her car seat, with the air conditioning running, and no indication that the vehicle's electrical system was about to fail catastrophically. But Apollo, a Belgian Malinois belonging to Dr. Martinez who worked at the hospital, spotted smoke coming from the car and witnessed Chloe's desperate attempts to escape from the rapidly filling interior. Without hesitation, Apollo used his powerful jaws and claws to shatter the rear passenger window, pulling Chloe to safety through the broken glass just seconds before the fire reached the fuel system and turned the family sedan into an inferno that would have claimed her life. Welcome to Save by Tales. Before we dive into this heart-stopping story of split-second timing and canine courage creating a miracle when automotive safety systems failed and every second counted, join our community of animal hero enthusiasts who understand that heroism often arrives on 4 paws when human help is still minutes away from reaching those who need it most. Sandra Patterson had driven to Mercy General Hospital for what should have been a simple prescription pickup for her elderly mother's medications, a routine errand that she had completed dozens of times over the past year. 7-year-old Chloe was out of school for a teacher workday and had accompanied her mother on the hospital visit, planning to wait in the car while Sandra made the quick trip inside. "I'll be right back, sweetheart," Sandra told Chloe as she parked in the visitor parking area near the hospital's main entrance. "Just going to get Grandma's medicine. You stay buckled up and I'll be back in 5 minutes." The parking procedure was routine and safe. Sandra locked the car with the air conditioning running, windows slightly cracked for ventilation, and Chloe secure in her booster seat with a tablet and snacks to keep her occupied during the brief wait. The family's 2019 Honda Accord had excellent safety ratings and had never shown any signs of electrical problems. Dr. Roberto Martinez was finishing his shift in the emergency department and walking to his own vehicle when he noticed Apollo, his 3-year-old Belgian Malinois, acting agitated in the back seat of his truck. Apollo was a retired military working dog who had served 2 deployments overseas before joining Dr. Martinez's family, bringing with him exceptional training in threat detection and emergency response. "What's wrong, boy, Doctor?" Martinez asked as he approached his truck, noting Apollo's focused attention on something in the parking area that was causing obvious concern. The fire in Sandra's Honda began as a small electrical short in the dashboard wiring, triggered by a manufacturing defect that had gone undetected during routine maintenance. Within minutes, the short circuit had generated enough heat to ignite surrounding plastic components, creating toxic smoke that began filling the passenger compartment. Chloe noticed the strange smell first, a sharp chemical odor that didn't belong in the familiar environment of her mother's car. When she looked up from her tablet, she saw wisps of smoke rising from the dashboard area and immediately understood that something was seriously wrong. Mommy, there's smoke," Chloe called out, forgetting that her mother couldn't hear her from inside the hospital. The electrical fire quickly escalated, with flames beginning to emerge from the dashboard vents and smoke becoming thick enough to make breathing difficult. Chloe tried to unlock the doors using the manual controls, but the electrical failure had affected the car's locking system, trapping her inside the rapidly deteriorating environment. Help me," Chloe screamed through the windows, but the parking area was relatively empty, and her small voice couldn't carry far enough to attract attention from people entering the hospital. Apollo's exceptional hearing and threat detection training allowed him to pick up Chloe's distress calls, while other potential rescuers remained unaware of the emergency developing in the parking area. Apollo's response to Chloe's emergency was immediate and professional, drawing on military training that had prepared him to recognize and respond to life-threatening situations involving civilians in danger. The Belgian Malinois began barking urgently while pawing at Dr. Martinez's truck window, trying to alert his owner to the crisis unfolding nearby. "Apollo, what's going on?" Dr. Martinez asked as he unlocked his truck and released the agitated dog. Apollo bolted towards Sandra's car with the purposeful movement of a working dog responding to an emergency. His military training had included vehicle extraction procedures and threat assessment skills that allowed him to immediately understand the severity of Chloe's situation. The smoke pouring from the Honda's dashboard was now visible to anyone in the immediate area, and small flames were beginning to appear through the air vents. Chloe's panicked face was clearly visible through the rear window, as she struggled unsuccessfully with the door locks that had been disabled by the electrical fire. "Oh my God," Dr. Martinez breathed as he followed Apollo toward the burning vehicle, and realized that a child was trapped inside. Apollo reached the Honda before Dr. Martinez and immediately began assessing the situation with the systematic approach that military training had ingrained in his responses to emergency situations. The Belgian Malinois could see Chloe's distress, smell the toxic smoke, and understand that immediate action was required to prevent a tragedy. Martinez's first instinct was to try the door handles and look for safe ways to access the vehicle, but Apollo's training had taught him that speed was more critical than conventional safety protocols when lives were at immediate risk. "Get back, Chloe, Doctor," Martinez called through the window, trying to signal the frightened girl to move away from the glass that Apollo was already targeting for forced entry. Apollo positioned himself at the rear passenger window, using techniques that his military training had taught him for emergency vehicle access. The dog's powerful hind legs and precise targeting allowed him to strike the window at its weakest point with maximum force. The window shattered on Apollo's second impact, sending safety glass fragments into the car's interior, but creating an escape route that could save Chloe's life before the fire reached critical stages. With the rear window broken, Apollo immediately began clearing glass fragments and debris to create a safe pathway for Chloe's escape from the burning vehicle. The Belgian Malinois' military training included victim extraction procedures that guided his efforts to help Chloe navigate through the broken window safely. "Come to me, sweetheart, Doctor," Martinez called as he joined Apollo at the broken window, working together to assist Chloe's emergency exit from the car. Chloe's escape through the rear window required careful coordination to avoid injury from glass fragments, while moving quickly enough to prevent smoke inhalation or burns from the spreading fire. Apollo positioned himself to support Chloe's weight and guide her movement through the opening he had created. "Good boy, Apollo, you saved me," Chloe gasped as soon as she was clear of the burning vehicle, immediately hugging the Belgian Malinois who had become her rescuer in the most frightening moments of her young life. The extraction was completed just as the fire reached the car's fuel system, causing an explosion that completely destroyed the Honda and created a fireball that would have been fatal for anyone still trapped inside the vehicle. Dr. Martinez's emergency call brought hospital security and city fire department units to the parking area within minutes of Chloe's rescue, but Apollo's quick action had already prevented what could have been a fatal vehicle fire. "We have a child rescued from a burning vehicle, Doctor," Martinez reported to emergency services. "The car is fully involved now, but the child is safe thanks to my dog's intervention." Chloe was immediately evaluated for smoke inhalation and potential injuries from the emergency exit through the broken window, but her condition was remarkably good considering the circumstances. Apollo's efficient rescue had minimized her exposure to toxic smoke and prevented burns from the rapidly spreading fire. "That dog saved this little girl's life," observed Fire Captain Lisa Rodriguez, as she examined the completely destroyed Honda. "Another minute and the fire would have reached levels that made rescue impossible." Apollo remained close to Chloe throughout the emergency response, providing comfort and reassurance while medical personnel conducted their evaluation of her condition. Sandra Patterson emerged from the hospital to find the parking area filled with emergency vehicles and her car reduced to a smoking shell of twisted metal and glass. Her immediate panic about Chloe's safety was quickly relieved when she saw her daughter safe with Dr. Martinez and Apollo. "Chloe."
"Oh my God, Chloe,"
Sandra cried as she ran toward her daughter, unable to comprehend how a routine prescription pickup had turned into a life-threatening emergency.
"Oh, Mommy."
"The car caught on fire, and I was trapped," Chloe explained through tears, "but Apollo broke the window and saved me. He's a hero dog." The reunion between mother and daughter was emotional and overwhelming, but Sandra's gratitude toward Apollo and Dr. Martinez was immediate and profound. She understood that without their intervention, she would have lost her daughter in a tragedy that developed faster than any human response could have prevented. "I can never thank you enough," Sandra told Dr. Martinez while kneeling to hug Apollo. "This dog saved my daughter's life. He's an angel." The investigation into the Honda's electrical fire revealed a manufacturing defect in the dashboard wiring that had created the conditions for catastrophic failure without any warning signs that could have alerted Sandra to the danger. This was a sudden electrical failure that progressed to full vehicle fire in less than 10 minutes, explained fire investigator Mark Johnson. There was no way for the owner to predict or prevent this type of emergency. The investigation also confirmed that Apollo's intervention had been precisely timed to prevent a fatal outcome, with the window break and extraction occurring just minutes before the fire reached the vehicle's fuel system and caused the explosion that destroyed the car completely. The dog's response was professional-level emergency rescue, Johnson continued. His timing and technique probably saved this child's life. Chloe's medical evaluation at Mercy General Hospital confirmed that she had suffered no serious injuries from either the fire or her emergency exit through the broken window. Her smoke inhalation was minimal thanks to Apollo's quick rescue, and she showed no signs of trauma from the frightening experience. "Chloe's condition is excellent considering what she went through," reported emergency physician Dr. Sarah Kim. The dog's fast action prevented serious smoke inhalation and got her out before the fire could cause burns or other injuries. Apollo was also examined by the hospital's veterinary consultant and found to be uninjured from his window-breaking rescue, though his paws showed minor cuts from glass fragments that were treated with basic first aid. Apollo's military training and conditioning allowed him to perform the rescue without serious injury to himself, observed veterinarian Dr. Amanda Foster. His technique for breaking the window was precise and effective. Apollo's heroic rescue attracted attention from local media and veteran organizations who recognized the life-saving value of his military training in civilian emergency situations. The Belgian Malinois received commendations from both military and civilian emergency response organizations. Apollo represents the best of what military working dogs can contribute to civilian safety, said retired Army Colonel Jennifer Walsh during a ceremony honoring the heroic dog. His training and instincts saved a life when human help wasn't immediately available. The story was featured in military working dog publications and emergency response training materials, highlighting how retired service animals could continue contributing to public safety in their civilian lives. Chloe and Apollo developed a special friendship following the rescue, with regular visits between the Patterson and Martinez families that allowed the bond between rescuer and rescued to continue growing. "Apollo is my guardian angel," Chloe often told people when sharing her rescue story. "He knew I was in trouble and he saved me when I couldn't save myself." The relationship between the families was strengthened by their shared experience and Apollo's continuing protective interest in Chloe's welfare during their visits together. Chloe's rescue led to increased awareness about vehicle electrical fire risks and the importance of emergency escape planning for situations where automatic safety systems might fail during emergencies. Apollo's rescue shows us that vehicle fires can develop faster than human response times, explained automotive safety expert Dr. Robert Chen. His quick action compensated for the time it takes emergency services to arrive and assess situations. The case was featured in automotive safety education programs and emergency preparedness materials for families with young children. Following Chloe's rescue, Apollo seemed to take a special interest in vehicle and parking area safety during his daily activities with Dr. Martinez. The Belgian Malinois' protective instincts had been reinforced by his successful rescue experience. "Apollo watches parking areas more carefully now," Dr. Martinez observed. "It's like he's appointed himself as a guardian for anyone who might need help around vehicles." Chloe's confidence and resilience following her traumatic experience were enhanced by knowing that Apollo remained watchful and protective of her safety. 5 years after Apollo's window-breaking rescue, Chloe and the Belgian Malinois remained close friends, with their story continuing to inspire emergency preparedness education and recognition of military working dogs' civilian contributions. "Apollo taught me that heroes can come from anywhere when you need help," Chloe explained during a school presentation about emergency safety. "He didn't hesitate to help me even though we had never met before. That's what real heroes do." Their story continued to demonstrate the remarkable capabilities of military-trained animals whose skills and instincts could save lives when conventional safety systems failed. and human help was not immediately available. Apollo had proven that some rescue equipment came with 4 legs, exceptional training, and the courage to act decisively when lives hung in the balance and every second counted towards survival or tragedy. I still think about that afternoon when a 7-year-old girl was trapped in a burning car, while her mother stood inside a hospital just yards away, completely unaware that an electrical fire was turning her vehicle into a death trap that would claim her daughter's life within minutes. If Apollo had ignored the distant sounds of distress, if he'd lacked the military training to recognize an emergency and respond with precise action, if he'd hesitated for even 60 seconds before breaking that window, Chloe Patterson would have died in a fireball while help remained tantalizingly close but unreachable. Apollo's story teaches us something profound about how military training can translate into civilian heroism when working dogs recognize that their skills are needed to save innocent lives. This dog didn't just break a window, he executed a professional-level emergency extraction that required threat assessment, tactical entry, and victim support skills that came together at exactly the right moment to prevent a tragedy that would have destroyed a family.